Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Robert, and today I am bringing to week 19 of the spring-summer season, more specifically, or obviously, the drop list for week 19 of the spring-summer season, which brings us to the summer tees. A couple of accessories, a couple of other pieces, but the summer tees. And yeah, as the season is winding down, coming to a close, hopefully we end off with a bang on these because they've genuinely gone out 5 minutes ago, so we're going to be going on to that, taking a look and hoping for the best, and then going through the other pieces for this week. But as per norm, let me know down below whether or not your items from last week have arrived, wherever you got them from, or whatever orders have come in for you personally, or whatever you've bought, because you never know, I might be like, damn, that's amazing. But yeah, I did see that somebody on Facebook in one of the Supreme UK EU groups bought the Ducati bike, and I believe they said it was 48,000. Wow, yeah. Props to them, to be honest, to just be able to do that. But yeah, let's just jump straight into this list anyway.
Okay, so let's go onto this tab and hope for the best in the end. I haven't put any lights on above purely because of the fact that maybe it looks better. Maybe we're at that time of year where I don't need it. So, Supreme Summer Tees. For summer, Supreme will release 7 new graphic tees available. Obviously, this Thursday. I kind of want to do that until we reach them. Oh, we're already on them. Okay. Okay. I suppose I can move this down. Yeah, like that. So we've got the names of the tees. So I'm going to pull those up to the side and try and match, one to the other. So we've got the Miss Piggy tee, obviously. So we don't get to see the other colourways, but obviously sources will put them out later on today. In the end, it's just the way that it goes. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know if I would have preferred it larger or if it's just the right size and the placement and everything. I feel like it's fine. Maybe a larger sort of circle would have been cooler, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain because it's Miss Piggy, so it's quite cool that we're getting that. From there, we then have, I believe this will be the backwards tee, because obviously it's backwards, so yeah, that should be self-explanatory. It's just got like a little stroke to it, basically, in the end. I kind of recognise the font, but I can't tell from where, which is really stupid just because of the fact that it's backwards. On second thoughts, this might not be the backwards tee, because that's varsity text. This is the varsity tee, isn't it? That's what the text is. That's where I recognise it from. It's varsity. So this is not the backwards tee, even though it would be really self-evident as to why it'd be called that if it was that, but it's not. So this is going to be the varsity tee. Okay. Next up, this is going to be the... This is throwing me off. We'll zoom in a little bit. So this is the Paris tee. Okay. This is the... So this is going to be the Sati. I'm just going to call it. If I pronounced it wrong, then I pronounced it wrong. Which has a front and a back. So that's the back to it. Which is featuring Pharoah Sanders, who we previously had a graphic tee released for. This is the... God, I'm going to try and pronounce this. The Sach Donada tee. Alice Coltrane Sach Donada. Did I butcher it? Did I not? I don't know. This is the Paris tee, as I said. This is the backwards tee, I believe. And this is the Black Cat tee, which I'm guessing that's a back graphic in the end. So yeah, to run through them, I mean, they're not the strongest in the world coming from Supreme before we go into the drop list. Obviously, they're not the strongest. Colorways in that Paris tee is actually quite nice. The red with the white on it. And this sort of tan tone in the backwards tee is also nice. But we've got the Miss Piggy tee, the varsity tee, the the Patar, I can't, sorry. We've then got the Sach Tonada, probably butchered it, the Paris tee, and the backwards tee, followed by the Black Cat tee. Overall, yeah, I mean, they're not the strongest in the world. Black Cat tee is a huge graphic, which is quite cool, but yeah, backwards tee I also kind of like, I'm not going to lie, and Paris tee in some of the colourways I'm sure also looks nice. Besides that, Miss Piggy's cool. But yeah, I think it will depend on the colourways in the end. But let's go into the full drop list now, anyway. And yeah, now obviously where I thought that the week might have been split into two because of what was left, they're not going to be doing that. Obviously, In the past, they have done like a collaboration with like 2 or so items, as they've done during this season numerous times. But they're not going to be doing that purely because of the fact that they have postponed the notebook and the toolbox. Canvas pieces also, I'm pretty sure, just meant to like redrop at points, but they're obviously not going to in the end. I do know somebody who was looking forward to notebooks, but obviously not going to happen now, unfortunately. So obviously it took me a minute to put them together, being, you know, what the T's were to the names, and then I go on to Supreme Community and they've already got them up there within like 10 minutes. I could have just waited for that instead of like trying to put myself through the headache of trying to figure out which was which. But anyway, let's get on with the last couple of items that are going to be coming out for this week, the final week of the season. So I'm kicking off with basically accessories, being the Franklin Playground Ball. I've seen a lot of people say they want this just because why not? I hope that retail is pretty basic, because as I said before, you can get like playground dodgeballs anywhere for like £5-10, you know, so realistically it didn't really need to be Franklin. I know better, you know, quality possibly in the end, but you know, if it comes to be like $50 or something, I'll just say it's ludicrous for that because it's a dodgeball, you know. So anyway, from there we've got the common folding table set, which funnily enough, even as sort of simple looking as it is, as you can see, it can take £240, which I believe it's like, what, 130 kilograms or so? No, it's not. It's more like 116, 100-ish. Yeah. It's 2.2 to a kilo, isn't it, in the end? So yeah, about 120-ish. 110, maybe. But yeah, I think it's quite cool. You've got the bandana design to it. Is it the best that they've done? Not really, but still, it's just something cool. If the retail isn't ludicrous, then I'd say for those who go camping, or even just want something for like their back garden, for instance, just to like throw out, or just have at the ready, maybe even for a beach or something like that, then, you know, it's quite cool and it's quite handy. Folds into basically nothing, so yeah, why not at the end of the day? We then have the AO 24 pack cooler bag, which I actually think is pretty decent. Realistically, summer, it's the perfect time for this to actually drop in the end, and it's very useful. If the retail's fair, it's actually quite a tempting thing, realistically, for the fact that you can fit so much in it in the end. This is the same sort of things I saw from like Uniqlo release, except you had to spend like £75, I think, to get the bag for free. So if it's less than that, maybe it would be a really good deal. Could you imagine if Supreme were just like, here you go, £30-40? They won't at all, but could you imagine how like crazy that would be? It'd be really worth it at that point. But yeah, I still think it's quite cool. Colorway's cool. So we have all of the tees. Obviously, personally for me, the best ones are going to be Miss Piggy, the Paris tee, and possibly the backwards tee, depending on the colorway. I think the red colorway in the Paris tee with the white really pops. The others are perfectly fine. I love how large the graphic is to the black cat, but overall, it's nothing insane. For the last 4 pieces of the week, we'll go like worse to best. We've got the Clown 6 panel. The colorways are okay, but it's nothing crazy. The Jacquard soccer short, I'm expecting just to sell in the end, just because it's the last week, it's a soccer short, people just react as they do. And yeah, personally it'd be the blue or the black colorway. Orange isn't my favourite, I'm not gonna lie. We've got the Cordura Denim Small Box 6 panel, perfectly fine, it's simple. I prefer the sort of pink and the mustard sort of colourway ish, if you can call it that. The denim blue's fine, but those are the ones that I prefer as an overall. Probably have a completely different name to that as per norm. It will have like, what, coral or something. But yeah, for the final item for this week, we have the Jacquard soccer jersey. Personally, I think this is like more so the better piece of the week to especially end the season on. Yeah, black or blue colourway I think are the best. The orange, it's perfectly fine, but as an overall, I just prefer the other two. I really do. Yeah, it's just a good piece as an overall. And as you can see, 30 years of dedication, world famous. It's good. This is probably better than like the 30th, you know, piece that we actually got from them, personally for me. You know, it's like a better crowning item as an overall. But yeah, Blue or black? Black is probably like the cleanest, you know, as an overall. Blue is more so the vibrant tone. But yeah, I think it's great. So that is going to cover this week. As per norm, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you're going to be going for, what you like, what you dislike, what was your best item you picked up this season. And yeah, that is all that I can say. Other than that, I do hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.